Welcome to the Answers for Elders radio show. Meet the trusted experts who will give you straight answers and will help guide you on the path of later life care. Now, here's your host, founder, caregiver, and CEO, Suzanne Newman.
And welcome everyone to Answers for Elders Radio Network, heard across the USA and on your favorite podcast platform. And I am so excited to start a special series with an organization that you guys, if you've listened, you've heard a little bit about this amazing community downtown Seattle called Skyline Retirement. And Skyline Retirement is what's called a life care community. And you're going to learn a little bit about the advantages and the information. And I felt for our listeners, it's like we could talk about all the, nuts and bolts of this community. But what I'm very excited about is we have an actual resident at Skyline Retirement by the name of Judy Mayotte. And Judy, you are here. Welcome to the show. And I'm so glad you're here.
Well, thank you, Suzanne. I'm very glad to be here.
I really want to get to know you because it's a big step to go into a life care community. And before we start, I'm going to define what that is to our listeners so people understand. What's different? You're just a typical retirement community, you're paying rent and you're basically just like in an apartment, right? What happens with a life care community is they take care of you from the very beginning, from independent living all the way through to skilled nursing or memory care. In other words, if you need 24-hour care, they have every step of care available. And the nice thing about being in a life care community is, yes, you pay an upfront fee, but they take care of you. When you're in later life, you may be in a situation where you're paying $15,000 a month for memory care. Well, it's not going to be that way at a life care community. It's a long total commitment to you and your health and how you are. And the staff gets to know you. They have absolute, connection between everyone. So the quality of care in a life care community can be much higher than anywhere else that you can, park yourself wherever it is as you're aging. And so, Judy, you are part of this amazing life care community, which is as deluxe as it comes. I am so blown away by the beauty of Skyline Retirement and the views and all the things that you live in. So I'm so glad that we get to talk to you.
Well, thank you. And I look forward to our conversation this morning, Suzanne.
Well, Judy, you've lived at Skyline for how long now?
It's been about 6 years. Moved back here. I had been living in South Africa.
Oh my goodness. Amazing.
From South Africa back to Washington, D.C. for just a very short period of time, and then came out here when I was I think I was 81 when I came into Skyline.
My goodness. You do not look your age, my friend. That's amazing. And for those of you that are watching us on YouTube, please comment. But I think Judy looks amazing for being in you like 87 now?
I just turned 87, yes.
My goodness, my friend. That's amazing. That's amazing. You're in great shape. So Judy, you still live independent though, isn't that correct?
Absolutely. And I have one leg and get around on my wheelchair and just swim every morning.
So amazing.
It's very, very easy to live here.
Yeah, I can imagine. And then, the nice thing about, again, being in a community that you're independent, if you ever need help, if you get sick, if they can provide services to you on an interim basis, or if your needs ever expand, they can put you into an assisted living. But I don't think you have to move out of your apartment, do you? If you go into, no, you can live in that apartment the rest of your days, can't you?
Well, you would move over. What we have here is a tower. Well, we've got 2 towers of independent, and we have our own apartments that have the kitchen and the bedroom,
right?
And living room and everything. And then there's another tower called the terraces that is attached to.
That's right.
And in the terraces, there is assisted living,
Mm-hmm.
memory care, and full care or skilled nursing
Mm-hmm.
is there. And
Mm-hmm.
so, one of the beautiful things about that is that sometimes one partner,
Mm-hmm.
um, one spouse will have memory care needs. And
Mm-hmm.
so and can move over to memory care, but the other person can remain in independent living
Mm-hmm.
and never have to go outside to
Yeah.
go visit and be with
Mm-hmm.
the that is in memory care, for example. They can spend the whole day over there
Mm-hmm.
together. They can, do all sorts of things, but the other
Mm-hmm.
person still keep the independent living.
Yeah, that is so important. And when I think about all of the things that couples go through in later life, and when a spouse starts to, maybe if they have Alzheimer's, dementia. I mean, I've read some stories of a spouse that has been suffering with trying to take care of their loved one. And then because it's just so overwhelming, they end up in a situation where they are so um just overworked that they end up going off the rails before the loved one that they're caring for. And so this is a way that couples can stay together, they can get the care they need, and yet somebody like you that is independent, you can have an active lifestyle as much as you want, and so it's the best of both worlds.
It truly is, and so there's many people who are couples here.
Mm-hmm.
There are many of us who have lost our spouses or never married,
Yeah.
ever, and so you have a lot of single people, you have a lot of couples,
Sure.
and you have a number of several people who one lives in independent living and one lives in memory care.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
different kinds of arrangements.
Sure, sure. I'm interested. You obviously, I'm sure, did some research before you moved into Skyline Retirement. Did you look at regular senior living and then the life care? What was a deciding factor for you to move to Skyline?
Well, my deciding factor in moving to Skyline was simply that I liked the atmosphere, the feeling of community here.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Loved the layout of the apartments and the
Mm-hmm.
floor windows that gives you light forever.
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Wonderful. I did look at two other places. I looked at Horizon House here in Seattle, and I
Mm-hmm.
also
That's
Arabella.
another life care community.
And somehow for me, who I'm a person in a wheelchair,
Mm-hmm.
and so the arrangement of the apartment was so much better for me here that
Yeah.
that I decided that this, but I think that mainly it was much. I mean, I could have adapted wherever, whichever one I went into, but I think it was mainly the sense of community here at Skyline,
Mm-hmm. It's
and
amazing.
and then the layout of the apartments and the floor to ceiling windows that
Yeah. Well, and you talk about that because so many people, they think if they're going to quote unquote senior living, they feel like they're going to live in an institution or a hospital type environment. This, after visiting Skyline Retirement, I'd move in there today if I could. It is beyond anything I've ever seen as far as the opportunities for those of us that are older adults, and certainly, the lively activities. And one of the things that just blew me away is, I mean, you guys have 4 dining rooms. You can go do whatever you want, wherever you go. It's so incredible in that faculty, in that capacity. It's just amazing how they have structured a community that is so vibrant and feels like you're not at all in senior living, and yet you have all this care around you. It's pretty incredible.
I think that that's very true. The other thing that drew me was I know I'm a city person, and so I have access here
Mm-hmm.
to being able not only to do all of, I mean, there's dozens of activities and dozens of committees and everything, but I also can get back down to Seattle U where I taught. I can get World Affairs Councils, and this is all on my motorized wheelchair. Get down to those kinds of talks. I can get
That's amazing.
I can get over to the monorail, get on the monorail, get off at the Space Needle, and go on a wheelchair on down to the Repertory Theater or to
You're amazing, girlfriend.
Whatever. And the library is very close, but the library also comes to us. But I could, it's not just that I am confined here to activities, but I can also be outside in the community itself. St. James Cathedral is kitty corner from here.
It's so gorgeous.
And so they have this cathedral kitchen that before COVID, we fed 200 people who were, our guests were food insecure. And so we had a big hot meal for them 5 days a week. And I volunteered 1 day a week over there. And now they're opened up again with fewer people, they've arranged it with fewer people. But I'm also on 3 committees over there. So there's just so much that it's a very active life, and the people here in independent living are people who remain active, and so our minds are active, our bodies are active. I swim laps 5 days a week, 5 mornings a week. There's exercise classes galore, and there's every kind of committee that you could possibly want. And there are talks that come, there are musical programs, there's and the food is delicious in every one of those dining rooms. So it is a wonderful, wonderful place to live.
I am so excited to spend a little more time talking to you. And in the next segment, Judy and I, we're going to talk about the transition process. How did she make the move? What all evolved in her? What did she take? What did she leave behind? And just all this, the way in which she downsized, I'm sure, from her home. And so Judy and I, we're going to be back in segment 2 right after this. We at Answers for Elders thank you for listening. Did you know that you can discover hundreds of podcasts in our library on senior care? So visit our website and discover our decision guides that will help you also navigate decision making. Find us at answersforelders.com.